Hello, Gators. It is Monday, May 17th, 2020, and this is our final week of our distance learning for the 2019-2020 school year. And to start it off, we have our math for this week. I cannot believe it's been 8 weeks now, 7 weeks finished, and this is the 8th week of doing math lessons like this. But it's been fun to do this. So let's get started with, as always, our daily math practice. On number 1, we are doing 9.23 divided by 71. Number 2, we are using the same 9.23, but we are adding this time. So make sure to pay attention very closely to which signs we are doing. The first one we are dividing, and these are addition. On number 3, we are doing 4 to the third power equals what? Then 4 to the fourth, and then 4 to the fifth. What do those equal? Now on these here, we are actually doing these today. So I'm not going to show you how to do those just yet, because in the video of the math lesson, you're going to see those. On number 4, how many milliliters are in 1 liter? I will give you one big hint. It's this right here with milli, right there. And number 5, if there are 64 knives, forks, and spoons on the table, and each place setting has 2 forks, how many places are set? So you're going to need to really work this one out to see what to do. Next up, we have our daily word problem. It is saying that there were 156 people waiting to get on a plane. Every 4th person was wearing blue pants, every 6th person was wearing sneakers, and every 8th person was wearing glasses. How many people were wearing blue pants, sneakers, and glasses? So this might seem a little hard for you, but I'm sure you guys will figure out a way. Now remember, on these ones, just look for the keywords. Every 4th person, every 6th person, and every 8th person, and that should help you out. But now on to the lesson today. We're going to go way back to things that we did in the fall. And the reason that we are doing this, we felt that it was important to cover some of this stuff before you go to middle school next year. So we're going to first talk about exponents and what they are. Which brings me back all the way to number 3, which is again what we are doing today. So exponents. How can you use exponents to write large numbers? This is saying that a box of cubes has 5 layers. Each layer has 5 rows with 5 cubes in each box. There are 5 by 5 by 5 cubes in the box. You can use exponential notation to represent repeated multiplication of the same number, such as 5 times 5 times 5. Now, when we're looking at these, we have some vocab to look at. First off is the base number is the number to be multiplied. So which number is to be multiplied is the base. Next is the exponent. The exponent is the number that tells how many times the base is used as a factor. And then lastly, we have a nice little graph here that is showing these. Now we have the factors. In this case, the factors were 5. So that is why we have the 5s right here. And the base number, again, it's these 5s is the base with the exponent of 3. Now this 3 is referring back to the number of 5s that there are. So if there were 15 of them, then it would be 5 to the 15th. What this is not saying, and this part is very, very huge, this is not saying 5 times 3. That is not what this is saying. This is saying 5 times 5 times 5. Two completely different thoughts there. Now 5 times 5 is 25, and then we're going to multiply that by 5 again, and we are going to get 125 as the answer. So another way we can look at those answers there is by looking at this. And where did my screen go? There we go. Sorry about that. First off, numbers involving exponents can be written in 3 forms. Exponential notation is what we were just talking about with the 5 to the third. Whoops. The next way to do it, and my PowerPoint is all messed up, sorry about that, is expanded form. So again, expanded form is what we saw to the left with these factors. That is expanded form, whereas this here was the exponential notation. And then lastly, if I can get my iPad to work the way it is, there we go. We get standard form, and that was the answer that I had written down right at the bottom right here. So again, exponential notation is where you write it using exponents. Expanded form is where you're writing it out as a problem, and then standard form is the answer. So I'm going to go back all the way to our daily math practice, and we're going to look here where on number 3 we had 4 to the third. So in this here is exponential notation of all of these. These are all in exponential notation. Now, when we want to look at this as expanded form, for the first one, it's going to be 4 times 4 times 4. The next one would be 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. And then the last one, it would be 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Now, your answer that you were going to put in here is in standard form, where you are going to find the answer. So let's try another one, which just so happens, just the crazy coincidence, we are actually going to do number 1. So we're going to look at it, and we're going to write this in exponential notation. Now, if you already saw the first one, you'd know that we would write this as that, 4 to the third. But let's try another one that might be a little bit better for us. Now we're going to write this in expanded form. So 10 to the fourth in expanded form, which would be 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. And you know what's last, which is standard form. There was exponential, there was expanded, and here is standard, which is where we're going to write the answer down. So remember, this is not 2 times 5. This is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. So that is it in standard form. Now, just for repeating sake, we're going to do this again to make sure you understand it. So first off, we are going to write 3 to the fifth in expanded form. So that would be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Next one, we are going to write it in 2 to the fourth in standard form. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. Then we are going to write this one here in exponential notation. So let's look at the base. The base here, they're all 7. So here is the base is 7. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'll be 7 to the fifth power. And then the last one, write 5 to the fourth in expanded and standard. So we want to make sure to look at the directions here. Expanded form, we are looking at 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And standard, 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 5 is 25. And then we can do 25 times 25. Which 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Cross those out. 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1, which is 5. We're going to add those up and get 625 as the answer in standard form. Now, the last part of this today is going to be your task here, which, as we're looking at this, the first part, 8 through 19, 8 through 19, you're going to write it in exponential notation. 15 through 22, you're going to write it in expanded. Now we see this right here where it says squared. Squared means little 2, and cubed means a little 3. On 23 through 30, we're going to write these in standard form. And then on 31 through 34, we have a few story problems for you to use, and make sure, as always, that you are showing your work. But that is it for the math today. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what the code word is. Well, if you are guessing by the background that I have behind me, it has nothing to do with the code word. So nice try. Make sure to watch the full video to get the code word. The code word for today is actually Baby Yoda. Again, it is Baby Yoda. But anyway, Gators, I will talk to you guys later. Make sure to reach out to your teacher for help, and then you can reach out to me if you need additional help on this. But hopefully you've watched this whole video so that it can help you even better than we can by texting you. I will talk to you guys later, and as always, Gators, it's great to be a Gator.